Hi guys, welcome back to Webhouse TV, and as promised, I'm going to share with you the step-by-step tutorial on how we can configure our MikroTik into dual ISP with failover and the combining of both internet speeds. So please stay tuned. We're going to begin. Alright, so first, let's open up our Winbox and then make sure that the router is set to 0 configuration. No? So go to System and then Reset Configuration, and then I'm gonna put a check mark in these two boxes over here, no default configuration and do not backup. Okay, and then the Reset Configuration, and let's wait for a few seconds. There you go. I'm going to close this out. So don't worry, I'm going to share with you guys all the scripts that I have. So speaking of the scripts, here she is. Alright, so konti lang naman siya, so hindi siya masyadong mahirap gawin. Alright, and then also I'm going to share with you my setup view session. So I'm going to discuss later what this setup view. Well, actually I already have a video tutorial regarding the setup view, but for this tutorial, let's just have a review on how we can do it. So I think the Winbox is ready now, so let's just open it up. And then speaking of the setup view, let me just go back from scratch. So normally kasi if the setup view or the advanced mode is not enabled, you will not be given this session view option. No? So let me show you. I'm going to remove this. And then if I'm going to connect to my Winbox, anyway, so it's ready. The IP address is now back to 0. Since it's been reset to 0 configuration, the password is blank. Okay, so let's just reconnect. And then again, if there's no session view uploaded in this session, here's what we're going to expect. So if we're going to connect, as you can see, it's blank, no? So let me just put in a new password. So the old password was blank. New password. Here we go. Alright. Change now. And I'm going to close it. Then reopen Winbox. Again, I don't have session V uploaded. If I'm going to connect. Oh, sorry. We already have password na pala, no? So go and then keep password and then connect. Alright, so it's really empty kasi nga we don't have any session view uploaded. So that's why it's very important to use session view if you would like to have those windows open up automatically every time you log into your Winbox. Okay, so to do that, let's open up Winbox and then click on the tools menu again. Make sure it's enabled. If not, it won't show up right here. Okay, so tools, advanced mode, and then from the session here we can upload the file. Don't worry, I'm going to share with you this kind of session if you would like to. Okay, so upload. Alright, and then connect. Oh, diba? They're back again in one piece. Okay, so let's start our configuration setup. Let's open up the script. Okay. Let's just minimize it here para madali natin siya makita. So let's start from the interfaces. Okay, but before that, let's make sure that the entire backup is really, the 0 configuration is 100% completed. Now let's check the firewall. It's already open up here. The filter rules, the NAT, and the mangle, yep, they're all empty, so which means the 0 configuration is really took place already. Okay, so let's start with the interfaces. Just right click, copy. As you can see right here, it's all in default configuration. So let's open up new terminal. Okay. And then let's just save this session para every time it's already here kasi madi-disconnect tayo shortly because we're going to set up the interfaces. So right click and then paste. Yep, we got disconnected as expected. So let's reconnect. There she is. Alright, it looks like hindi na complete yung ating Ethernet 5. So let's just do it again. Here's the new terminal. Again, if it's not open, new terminal and then right click and then paste. Dapat makomplete yung Ethernet 5 na mayroong hotspot na information. So just press enter once it's done. And as you can see, it's now being updated right here. Okay, so next script, dito na tayo sa ating interface bridge. Highlight, copy. We can use this previous to Windows terminal, no? Just make sure that you put a backslash, a forward slash here. Press enter para bumalik siya sa previous window. Okay, there we go. So, sa previous state niya, no? Sorry naman. Okay, so check natin ang ating bridge. It's currently empty. So if we paste the script right here, hindi natin siya kailangan i-manual pa, no? So just put it right here. There we go. Enter. Yep, as you can see, it's being added. Alright, so ang ports natin ay empty or blank. So we're going to add a port. You can do this naman manually, no, if you want to. Pero for me, since I already have the script, you can actually do this as well. So backslash or forward slash, enter muna para balik tayo sa previous state. Right click and paste. Go. And then enter. Yep. Okay. All three were added, 3, 4, and 5 now into hotspot. Ganun lang kasimple, diba? And then all the way from interface list, you can actually copy all of this, no? Para isang bagsakan na lang tayo. But let me just explain all of them just to make sure you understood what we're doing. So, from the profile, this will actually determine your DNS name or kung ano yung magiging hotspot name mo. If let's say, gagamitin mo is pisowifi.com, pwede mo siyang gamitin dyan. But for me, I'm going to use webhousestv.com as my DNS name. And yung IP address ng portal mo, if you would like to make it in a different IP address, let's say 20.0.0.1, pwede rin naman, you can do it over here. But for me, I'm going to use the usual hotspot portal address, which is 10.0.1. Alright, and then ang name ng aking hotspot ay Webhouse TV. And then from here, my IP pool ranges is declared over here, no? So it's 10.0.0.2 up to 254 sa aking mga IP pool. Ang aking DHCP server naman, from here, I think it's being configured as well. Alright, and then ang ating hotspot address pool, I name into hotspot pool. Okay, so and then back to hotspot user profile, yung ginawa ko sa previous demo ko, no? I used the 100 Mbps, so these are optional. This particular user profile here is optional, it's up to you, but for the sake of this tutorial, I already included it right here. Alright, so that we could test mamaya na mas mabilis, no? And then the interfaces list. Alright, so you can copy this, and then the IP addresses. Here is my setting. Okay, and then the most important here in this tutorial is this particular script. No? So this will actually dictate our entire setup now when it comes to failover and I believe merging an ISP speed. So don't forget to copy this portion. Okay, and then DHCP server network. Alright, ito yung kanyang setting. And ating DNS, I use Google DNS. Alright, and then yung ating user profile, I'm going to use my username Webhouse TV with this profile over here. Alright, and of course the system clock. Okay, pwede nyo rin naman tong hindi kopyahin if you would like to use a different time zone. Okay, but for me, since I'm in Manila, I'm going to use this. Okay, and then the system identity, this is actually your router name. So I put Webhouse TV right here, but this portion is optional if you don't want to include this part. But you can actually change this naman in the next few minutes after this if you want to. So from here, okay, copy muna natin to, huwag muna natin itong isama, this important note. So I'm just going to copy everything from here. Alright, it's okay to include the top script, no? It's alright. You can just copy this, and then you can close this and start a new terminal window. Right click and then paste. Yan. So inisa-isa na lang natin para mabilis. Pero at least na-explain ko na naman sa inyo each yung mga script na ginagawa natin. Okay, so I'm going to press enter. Alright. So let's double check if all those scripts were successfully added into our Winbox. There we go. So as you can see, my address list is already added. Yung IP pool natin, no, it's here, and then the DHCP server, it's already here, and then the Hotspot server is being added as well. The profile is here, and the username. All right, the user profile is being added, and what else? So far, yep, the name of the identity is not being configured to Webhouse TV as well. So those are the things na ginawa ng ating script, starting from here, from the interfaces down to the system identity. Alright, now let's do the second part na, no, the important note. So hindi na natin, don't copy this part, no, so because this is not a script. So let's start here from the IP route. Okay, this is important. So from the IP route, as you can see, it's empty right now. Okay, so back to the script. The first line right here is our ISP1, or the WAN1, okay, or WAN1, WAN number 1. Nakakabulot siya. Alright, so make sure na i-edit mo muna to, no? So to find out what is your gateway for the ISP1, first let's plug in, no? Let's plug in our two ISPs. So currently, as you can see, hindi sila connected right now. I'll plug in first ISP1. Okay. And then after that, once it's being detected by the system, this should give us a status of bound status. Okay, it's now inbound status. Alright, so as you can see, automatic na add yung ating ISP1 dito sa route list, no? And then let's check again the gateway of your ISP1. So to do that, make sure you check first your I think, yeah, from here, DHCP client. So double click and then go to status. Okay, and then from here you can see the ISP gateway. So you should put 192.168.1.1 from here. Alright, if your ISP gateway is 192.168.254.254, you put it right here. Alright, so that's for our ISP1. Alright, so again, it can be located in DHCP client. Double click status and then the gateway. Alright, and then configure na rin natin, no, yung the rest. So yung ating ISP1 or WAN1, 192.168.1.1, and there's another here. This is for the ISP1 as well. Alright, and then ang label na to is ISP1, so change this as well to your gateway. And then for the ISP2, okay, I'm going to plug in now my ISP2 sa microtik. Okay. Alright, as you can see, it's searching. Alright, and at any moment from now, magkakaroon ng additional entry sa ating route list. There you go. Nakita niyo naman. Reachable na lahat, no? Okay. There you go. So, yep, back to DHCP client. Double-click Ether to WAN 2. Go to status, and then the gateway of my second ISP is 192.168.8.1. So babaguhin mo rin siya rito, no? So this WAN2 must be changed to that IP address, or to that gateway 192.168.1.1, and then together with the following gateways, no? So this portion right here, distance to gateway, change it to 192.168.8.1, and this part as well. Alright, I hope hindi kayo doon nalito. Alright, so the thing is, make sure that both gateways are properly entered in this IP route script. Okay, and then after that, wala na kayong babaguhin, no? For the firewall, the mangles are already here. Alright, no need to configure everything. It's just the IP route. Alright, so let's do it. So starting from this important node, okay, below it the IP route, just highlight. Okay, highlight all of them all the way down. Okay, copy. Alright, and then go back to our new terminal, right click and then paste. Press enter, close this out, and as you can see, yep, they are already here. The mat are being configured already. Alright, and then the mangle rules are here as well. Alright, so ganun lang kadali. Okay, and then after that, we can now close the script because we're all finished with it. So we can now test if this entire setup is going to work. Okay, so I have my portal open already, so let's double check our hotspot user. Okay, so my user account is Webhouse TV. If you don't have it here, you need to create one first. Okay, so let's just Webhouse TV, and then hit add connect. Did not send challenge. Okay, problema. Let's find out. Maybe you just need to close this and reopen a new one. Open up. And Webhouse TV. There you go. Okay, so it's now connecting. And back to hotspot, active. Yep. Webhouse TV is in. Alright, now let's check our speed test. And take note, our two ISPs are currently connected. So our ISP1 is 50 Mbps, ISP2 is 20 to 25 Mbps. Check naman sa speed test just to compare. Ayun, diba? Sa speed test, nakukuha niya ang ating combined speed. Si fast.com lang talaga yung hindi accurate kalimitan, no? I'm not sure why. Pero balikan natin siya after this. Okay, so 74. So nag-combine naman yung ISP1 and ISP2, which means this setup is really working, no, for the merging of both speed. Okay, let's back to fast.com. Pagbigyan naman natin siya para makabawi. Ayan, diba? So, yeah, bumawi naman si fast.com at this point. So, he gave us 72 Mbps reading. Alright, so good. So, yep, they're all working fine. Now, let's test the failover. Okay, so let's open up our ping window, pingyahoo.com. Alright, there you have it. Meron tayong apply. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to disconnect let's try the ISP2. Okay, I'm going to unplug it from my router. Alright, so as you can see, all the route lists are reachable right here. So I'm going to unplug it now. Yep. As you can see, there's one request timed out, but that's normal. At least after that, continues pa rin ang kanyang reply. Okay, so which means the failover is really working. So we have the ISP2 disconnected while ISP1 is still plugged in. Okay, and then if we're going to close this route list, reopen it. ISP routes, or IP routes. As you can see, the 192.168.8.1, which is the ISP2, is now in unreachable state. Right? But still, the internet is working fine, meaning the failover is working. Diba? So let's do a speed test. Kay kay ano muna? Ukla. Saan ka na? There you go. Currently, our ISP1 is plugged in, so we should have at least 50 Mbps to 55 or 59. So, yep, it's working fine. The failover is working fine. Okay, so I'm going to plug in the ISP2. Alright, it's now searching. Okay, it's now in bound status. Very good. And then let's close the route list to refresh IP and then routes. As you can see, it's back now into a reachable status. All of them are in reachable status. I'm going to close this CMD, test it later. Okay, and let's just run another test and see if both speed will be added pa rin, no? So since both of our ISPs are plugged in. Oh, diba? So, nag-merge talaga sila. Okay. And then, last test na gagawin natin would be disconnecting this ISP2 to see, the ISP1, kasi kanina dinisconnect pala natin si ISP2. We're going to disconnect at this point the ISP1. Alright. So, there you go. But before that, let's open up CMD again, and this time, let's ping google.com. Ayan. Alright, so all of them are in reachable state right now. I'm going to unplug ISP1 from my MikroTik router. There we go. Okay, as you can see, nawala rito si ISP1. And ang status niya sa ating DHCP client ay red at merong isang request timed out pero bumalik siya kaagad, which means the second ISP took over the internet connection. Alright, so there you have it. So we have just proven that the dual ISP, the failover, and the merging of ISP speeds are working on this particular setup. Okay, so review lang tayo, no? So again, back to our script. So you can actually copy all of this, no? So if you want, okay, starting from here down to here. All right, and then starting from the IP route, don't forget to change or replace the gateway with your actual ISP gateway IP address. Okay, once being replaced, you can now continue and copy the IP routes down to firewall NAT, and your router should be good to go. You can test your setup if they are all working fine. Okay, so I hope you learned and appreciate my video tutorial for this point, for this kind of setup. So once again, this is Webhouse TV. Thank you so much for watching.